What's good, Denver? It's Shelly Martinez, your host of Chopping It Up with Shelly at Hollywood Barbershop.
This is the barbershop. Barbershop. This is the barbershop. The place where a black man means so.
Bitch, I'm tryna put the diamond in my bezel. I'm on a whole nother level. Never settle.
What's good, Denver? It's Chopping Up with Shelly over here at Hollywood's Barbershop. I have the cast of 1%. Big movie premiere coming up on Thursday, right? Written and directed by Myles Juniel. And so today I'm actually in the movie. I'm going to have a small part, and Myles is going to actually be the interviewer today. So Myles, go right ahead.
Word, thank you for having me. It's nice to be on this side. I kind of want to start with you, Shelly, and Isaiah. It's your debut movie as well, right? And Shelly, it is your debut?
Yeah.
So you guys start off by kind of just telling me about, the process. What was it like for you? What was it like being on set? Anything that stands out?
Yeah, definitely. It's a very different experience for sure. I went from doing theater to this was the first thing, and so it was cool though to see all the different pieces that were put together to continue to make different scenes. On theater you get one kind of thing that you go off of, one set. Here we did different sets, different areas. It was very nice, very cool. Really
Word. Oh, Shelly?
For me, it was my first time ever being in a movie, so it was really a pretty cool experience, and I was honored to be asked, especially. But I was really nervous in the beginning because I've never acted before, but I mean, you made it so easy for me to just be myself and have the ability to if I did mess up, it was no big deal. We just retake, So it was really it motivated me to be in other things if they were presented, to me. So I really appreciate that.
Word, I appreciate that. No, go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, I was just agreeing with that.
Word. Yeah, and y'all killed it, as I knew y'all would before we even stepped on set. Yeah, so thank y'all for even being a part of it.
I want to ask you a question, even though you're the interviewer.
Of course, yeah, give it to me.
What gave you the idea to come up with this movie, and what inspired you to write it?
I think it was a few things. I would say the most dominating element to this particular creative process was probably my sister, who's always when we were growing up, she was a tomboy and she loved football in particular. But there just was this silent level of, okay, this peaks at fun. And I didn't love that. I mean, I was raised around all women, so I'm very familiar with the space of holding space as a man for the greatness that was around me and seeing them, interact with the world and push boundaries and learning to be a better ally. And I really wanted to create a piece that would help me bring that to fruition in this way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Bet.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Gab represents so much, and I kind of want to go to Gab next. What do you remember most from being on set? We've done 2 movies together now.
Yep.
So how did 1% differentiate? Is there anything that stands out for you?
Let's see. Well, what I remember the most, I could definitely piggyback one of the things off of Shelly is just the ease of being able to act with you and the different actors on set. It was really easy to act with y'all. We had fun, and also just because I am a previous athlete, I was a former athlete, coming into this type of role was just natural for me. I love to be, I'm an entertainer at the end of the day. I love to be on stage in front of people, especially if I could do it with sports too.
That's real talk, yeah, and you killed it too. There's some shots too, even when you talk about, inspiration, I feel like in the editing process and thousands of hours I've spent watching this stuff, I just saw certain stills that reminded me so much of little imagery throughout childhood. So subtle, so whatever. As an example, because I think it's, and I'll just use you as an example, because it's the picture on the website to buy tickets, and it's Deb, after her dad and Coach Tucker leave the locker room and she's like looking at the helmet, it reminds me so much of the episode where Penny plays football on the Proud Family. It's almost the same exact shade of blue, and I saw it recently and I didn't realize how baked into my psyche even little stuff like that was. It's ridiculous how close it looks.
Can I ask you something too?
Yeah, of course.
So is that why you also, is that a part of the reason why you picked me, because of my athletic background?
No, honestly, I didn't know much about it.
Really?
I didn't know yet because
You didn't, actually?
Yeah, on Shooting Guard, on the set of Shooting Guard, I don't remember talking much about athletic background. It was more about the
No.
story, and we are just kind of locked in on,
Yep.
okay, how do we do the trap justice and the culture of
Yep.
this, and feed Agape's vision and all the things.
And that was a big difference between the two, the parts, the
Yeah.
roles of the two characters that I played. Definitely this
Yeah.
one, she was very determined to get to where she wanted to go. Gabby was.
Yeah.
And my role on Shooting Guard was way different. She was there for her man. She was there to, take a role as a supporter instead of a leader in this role. So
That's real talk. And it's
Yeah.
interesting how that switched almost subconsciously. Your role to support your man, and then my role to support my girl in 1%.
yep, exactly.
That's
Switched.
crazy. Let me ask Zai and Agape now just a little bit about y'all's creative process. I've done even more stuff with y'all, So yeah, I'm just curious, how did this differentiate? Maybe it didn't. But yeah, just walk us through some of your background.
Well, yeah, like you said, we've done a few movies together, a few different other projects. So I think as far as that aspect goes, as far as like looking at you, I feel like that's natural, it's normal because, we hang out outside of, like acting and stuff like that. And then we do so many different projects together. I feel like it was just easy for me to be on set. But if I take myself out of the equation, just look at it, I feel like it was just a more intimate setting, I think, for experienced actors and actors who were just getting started. I think the energy was given the same from, the production team, the director, you. You didn't treat anybody different based off of experience, and I think that kind of pulled everybody together to stand on the same line, because sometimes on different projects where people have experience, sometimes it could be shown even on like the film itself. Behind the scenes is definitely seen, but I feel like behind the scenes for us, it was just super laid back. Like I said, it was very intimate. If you didn't have to be on set, you wasn't on set. So I feel like for the people who are just starting out, I feel like that, like they said, it gave them a freedom to be themselves on set, because sometimes if you're just starting out, which for myself, when I started doing plays and stuff like that, you got this big group, you have the production team, everybody's looking at you and stuff, and sometimes you can get overwhelmed, and I feel like for this, nobody got overwhelmed. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also, in addition to the intimacy of it, which there was a lot of, I think one of the big differences with just one-on-one almost recording sessions and like doing different sound, and all types of contributions to creating the movie, like it was very intimate, which regardless of what scene or setting or whatever, there was just not a lot of space really between like the actors and the crew and the actors' lines and all that different stuff. But I think one of the main things for me about this that was a little bit different to other projects was like the time that I had to do character development and really form a relationship and a bond with, Xavier, like all the different things that take place in the story. And in the past, there's been a very concrete character to play when I was presented the role, in terms of like, have these lines ready and this particular idea of this character in a way ready by this date to present. And with this, it was a much more dynamic, I think, character development process, as far as just being able to connect with and identify how I wanted to make the character a person, you know what I'm saying, like a human being, and allow that character to connect with the audience. I just had a lot more time to develop that, and that was very enjoyable and just one of the main differences I think from some of the other projects we've done for sure.
Yeah, bro. Word. I want to now, like we said, 2 days away, sold out. That boy sold out in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Quick.
absolutely.
I know you did the music.
Uh-huh.
What can you tell us? Anything about the music?
Yeah, I mean, I could rant about the score and the sound production forever, but I think probably a couple things that are most important. First of all, in terms of being able to reconnect with different sounds and different creations that I've made in the past from a consumer's perspective, right? And having that very refreshing and gratifying consumer's ear, you know, and listening to beats that I made years ago, and whether it's sections of melody or drum or, you know, percussion or bass, whatever it may be, that's years and years old, that's now completely renewed and refreshed by its placement in the movie, you know. And so that was one of the most, like, I think holistic, like, parts of my experience with scoring, is having that brand new ear from not knowing, you know, because obviously we're going through it dynamically as well, and so I don't really know how it's going to sound or what exactly the final product is going to be, and moving into a new scene and then hearing stuff that I've made from before really made it sound brand new. So that was really, really cool. And also just like, there were certain songs that when I first made them, I had no goal about what they were for, and for certain scenes to have the songs match up so perfectly with the content of the scene was very satisfying. So those two things I think were the biggest, yeah.
Word. This one's for the ladies.
Okay.
Tell me about the hiring process. How'd y'all get involved with 1%?
I think that you knew about me just through music and everything. So you asked me, so I was flattered. So thank you.
Of course.
I got the role. It was very important to you, as I see you connecting back to your sister. So it was an honor to do it with you.
Agapi told me I had to.
Yeah, I feel it. Something I had also asked in the documentary, Deb, just to be specifically for you, at least about some of the couples in the movie, was, and the specific question was, what was it like for you to bring to life your on-screen romance? I kind of want your answer to also include, I guess, how much our dynamic differed, because we've already played a couple, but it was different.
Right.
So yeah, what was that like? What was that process like, I guess?
It was very fun.
Yeah.
It was just natural.
Yeah.
I think you and I's connection is natural anyway,
Yeah.
as friends. So being able to bring that to life and being able to touch you and, you know, kiss you and look at you the way that a girlfriend would a boyfriend, it came naturally. We did that. We acted the way we needed to do, and I think it came out great. But I also would add in too, like, I have a boyfriend, you have a girlfriend, and they were both there on a couple of scenes too. But I think that they were both very supportive of us, though.
Yeah.
I think that, of course, they knew, like, it was obviously acting, but like, this is serious to you. This is serious to me. So I think that they were both very supportive in that sense, too.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna try it out with Agapi real quick.
Yeah, Cash and Gab in the sequel.
See how good actors we are.
I think we're all very grateful for the opportunity. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm grateful
well
for y'all,
done,
for real.
actually.
For
Myles,
sure.
well done.
Thank you.
We're proud of you. So yeah, catch it. I mean, hopefully it'll be streaming somewhere soon. I know you
Yeah.
want to take it to some movie festivals,
Yeah,
right?
but we already have an offer for streaming, so I'm
Okay.
thinking, you know, if the second the film festival route starts to dwindle even a little bit, then I'll probably take that offer if nothing else. So it'll be streaming in probably a year or so.
All right.
But it's supposed to start some conversations. And that's why we've been doing the film festival route, so we can take it places and start conversations about women in this space.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Denver. Well, you heard it first from 1% Cast. Stay tuned. Chopping Up with Shelly will let you know when it is available to stream. But hey, you got some of Denver's best making movies and local movies and doing a lot of other creative content in the community that are just amazing all over the board. So
Next time we tap in, yeah, she'll be at the red carpet. Did you tell them
Yeah,
that?
we're
She will be
gonna-
at the premiere doing interviews live.
yes, that'll be Thursday. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
All right, Denver.
See y'all Thursday.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Yay!